Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the methodology of our channel. Get better, get smart, get going. Get better at getting better, get better at getting smarter, get better as a person, get better as a professional, get better all the time. The science of betterment, the art of improving. Why is this so important? Life is moving on. Time is running. Everything is getting faster, smarter, more complex, more chaotic, more interconnected. The system that people call family, the system that people call school, the system that people call government, they're not there for you. The family is trying to survive. The elderly were brought up in a world that no longer exists. Imagine the difficulty of people over the age of 50 in dealing with the digital world, in dealing with technology, in dealing with globalization. In many, many countries, people have never seen a foreigner. What happens when a person is clueless? He has no idea, because he has lived in a bubble. It's called the Rip Van Winkle Syndrome. He left the village, went into the forest, slept, woke up 20 years later. Everything had changed. This is what happened and what's happening. People wake up and they're 20 years behind. In some cases, 200 years behind. In most cases, 2,000 years behind. It's called a time lapse. You're in the wrong time. You're 2024, but you're living, you're thinking, you're behaving as if you were 1,000 or 2,000 or in some cases 10,000 years ago. We have to understand that everyone has to wake up. It's called situational awareness. Where are you? It's like you wake up in a distant planet. Noises, creatures, 3 moons, huge trees, creatures in the trees that I've never seen. Wow. I have to sit down, keep quiet, never call attention to myself, and figure out where I am. And then I have to look at myself and figure out who I am. What kind of body do I have? And then I would interrupt to ask everyone, do you have a body? Or are you completely mindless, clueless about the body? Or are you a body? When you realize that you are a body, you better take care of it. It's getting older very quick, and once it gets old, it's difficult turning the clock back. It's possible. It's called reverse aging. We will talk about it in the future videos. But at the moment, either you have a body or you are a body. Or you have your back turned to your body. You're not in the least bit interested. You don't care about it. not such a good strategy. Because you're in the body, you need it. It has to be there for you. It has to give you energy, vitality, presence. Going back, my situation. How's my body? Where am I? Is there anyone near me? Can I depend on them? What is their situation? Can they help me? Most people have elderly parents. They're not able to help. And if they have inheritance, it's even worse. Because the worst thing that can happen to you is receiving inheritance. What is really yours is what you construct, what you build, what you earn, not what you have received through others. That basically doesn't count, and for a short time, and then it's over. Our parents were brought up not only 30, 40 years ago, but in a different world. In the last 20 years, the world has changed more than in the last 1,000 years. It's unbelievable. So people are living in a time lapse, a time warp. They just don't understand what's going on. Situational awareness, the concept, it helps you wake up and try to figure out what's going on. There are wars everywhere. There have always been. Climate crashes and collapses. It's always been like that. But people haven't a clue. Why is that? In the year 1900, 99% of humanity was illiterate, totally uneducated, incapable of reading or writing or even understanding. 99% of humanity was illiterate all over the world. It means that grandparents were basically illiterate. Maybe they're really nice, they're wonderful, but still they're out of touch with what happened and what's happening. Second, most of the people have been fed fake history, lies. Real history has been transformed into mythology and legends. The truth is inconvenient. Lies are very convenient. And people are basically credulous. They believe in anything, in anybody, especially if they have a uniform, or they have a nice car, or they speak well. You believe in them. People pay fortunes for learning how to communicate, for talking well. It's one of the greatest arts, sciences, and competencies. The Greeks loved it. Socrates hated it. He said that the worst thing about the Greeks was the rhetoric, the blah, 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 and persuading and convincing, but no content. The art of storytelling has always been a part of human civilization, human society. And in certain societies, it has been transported to the realm of marketing and propaganda, ideological indoctrination. So we have to be very careful of storytelling. You have narratives, basically they're false, and the real history, which in Greek means investigation, has been put aside. Nobody wants to talk about that. Let's stop for a second and talk about history. What does it mean? It means investigation. And who was the person who was in charge of starting the history of the European people? Thucydides. He was nominated to find out what really happened in the war of Athens against Sparta, where they had atrocities after atrocities, horrors, and we had 3 Peloponnesian wars over centuries. They killed themselves. And he investigated and discovered that so many horrible things had been done, that the word atrocity comes from his name, Thucydides. Knowledge is very important. It's not more important than behavior, but it's very, very important because it leads you to the truth. History is only history if you investigate and you discover the truth, what really happened, the situation on the ground. So when we read biographies of travelers, of merchants, of people who traveled around the world over the years, you have a better idea because they describe the situation at that time. And not people in the last century who were justifying imperialism, colonialism, and justifying the atrocities that the West, the Europeans, had committed in the name of money, power, greed, Christ, whatever. They tried to justify it. That's not history. That's political propaganda. Situational analysis is having a monitor looking at ourselves. How is my behavior? Am I aggressive? Am I irritable? Am I alienated? Am I easily distracted? Or am I there? Am I present? There is a concept. The person is not fully there. It's like Mr. Magoo. You're off and on. You're there and then you're not there. And you forget things easily. And so we have to work on presence, being there, awareness. What's happening? What's going on? We have to start having a monitor. We have to switch this monitor on at the end of the day and go back and see the film of how was our day, how we behaved, how we communicated, how people used and abused us, or how we were mean. On the other hand, the monitor can show, wow, there were wonderful moments. You were exceptional. You were fantastic. Okay, I have to save that. Save it so I can repeat it. Situational awareness is also about my personal awareness. Am I aware of my strong points, weak points, of the opportunities, the dangers, the difficulties? Am I aware of my journey? In the 40 years of my life as a coach, as a mentor, I realized 99% of people have no concept of journey. If you ask them, so tell me about your life, they have not put it on paper. My life till the age of 12, then adolescence, 13 to 19, then my young adult, 20 to 35, and then 35 to 55. They have no memory, they have no recollection, and there is no sequence. Why? Because they have no idea of sequentialism. What's that? A, B, C, D. You do not go from A to M to J to K. It's A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4. You start with your life the first 12 years, and then you move on to 13 to 20, 13 to 19, and you have to organize it, and you have to put it on paper, and you have to relive it. Otherwise, it's gone. You've thrown away 20, 40 years of your existence. Personal awareness, your habits, your attitudes, your behavior, who you are, your skills, your competencies, your knowledge. If you don't have personal awareness, what kind of awareness will you have of others? So you're just with people, blind as a bat. You have to look through the fog and the smoke and the mirrors and see people as they are. Most people have no idea. They're clueless about how they are, who they are, their behavior. Behavior is a blind spot. In my life, especially in the West, no one has an idea of behavior. Things, cars, machines, when things are as abstract like concepts, they're clueless. Conceptual intelligence is very, very rare. To be able to imagine, to visualize, to understand a concept. For example, stickiness. No. Stickiness is your capacity to stay on track. Your capacity to stay connected. Not to jump like a monkey from branch to branch, or marry, separate, or have a job then give up, or start studying and then stopping. Stickiness is resilience, staying there. However, if you're not ready, if it's the wrong thing for you, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, then stickiness can be a problem because you're stubborn and you stick to the wrong path. And then after 10, 20 years, you have to go all the way back. However, the concept, stickiness, is important. This is real education. It's not about reading A, B, C, D. It's about reading people, situations, behaviors, what's going on. Conceptual intelligence, systemic intelligence. Life is wonderful if you start opening your mind to concepts, to systems, to situational awareness. There is something called interpersonal dynamics. How people behave when they're together. When the person is alone, he is one person. When he's in a group or with other people, he's different. When he's with his family, he's different. So we open our eyes and you observe how people behave on their own, interpersonal dynamics. When they're in trouble, when they're winning, whoa, I'm the greatest. When they lose, I'm the worst. Are they made of paper or are they just skin and bones? Or is there substance, content inside them? How valuable are they? Wow, value. Valuation. It's a very important concept. You have to value what's valuable. If people are valuable, give value to them. Do not depreciate them or ignore them. Unfortunately, most people are clueless about value. Valuation. Insider information. What is that? So when you're smart, okay, you start understanding certain concepts. And insider information is very valuable because that person informs you before of something very important that's going to happen. Insider information, what a concept. Situational analysis. The situation of my neighborhood is going to change. A wonderful new modern metro station is going to connect us to many neighborhoods. Nobody wants to stay in the traffic anymore. The metro in seconds, in 5 minutes, 10 minutes takes you to the best places. These are concepts. So, we have been talking about getting smart, getting better at getting smarter. It's just a small example. It would be very nice if you could go back and follow the video again, slowly. Write down the important concepts. Watch it several times. It's called Kumon. It's an Oriental system of learning. The modern system of schooling, you have one class, another class, another class, another class. At the end of the day, you're exhausted, you don't remember anything. Kumon, you do the same thing, you go back, you do it again, you go back, you do it again until it's easy. And then you move on. You have ascended above that level. Now you can move to the new level. It's not about going like a rocket and not learning anything, remembering anything, and getting exhausted because you're out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone. What's that? It's the zone where you're comfortable. Your basic 1, basic 2, intermediate 1, intermediate 2, advanced, pro. What is your level? Level. What's that? We will talk about all of these things. My job here is to waken you up. Get better, get smarter, open your eyes, open your mind, and start realizing you have not been prepared. The families, the schools, the governments, whatever, they're totally out of the picture. They're trying to survive. They are totally clueless. You're on your own, but I can help you. Welcome back.